When you're done with a TPO roof, QCing it and probing it is the most important part to make sure that it's waterproof. Even a 1/4 inch along a seam can cause a roof leak. So in this video, we're gonna get into how to QC and probe a TPO roof. So it's important to give your seams, once they get welded, about 5 to 10 minutes to cool off. Otherwise, you can damage them when you're in the probing process. The other thing is that your probe, you want it to be slightly dulled on the end. If it's too sharp, it can actually cause damage to your seams. You always want to have a marker on you. That way, if you find anything, which a lot of the times you will, you want to be able to mark it off as you go. So when we probe a roof, we're going to start with this seam right here. We're going to do every square inch pushing horizontal even pressure, not downward or we can make a hole. And as we're going, if we find anything, we have our marker right here so we can make a mark of it. If you just do one pass through like this, you will miss stuff. That is why I always go back and forth as I make my way down a seam. So right here, this is an example of a small spot you might find when probing. So when we find something like this, I just make a little mark of it. You can draw an arrow if you want, just so that you can get back to it later. What I like to do is I like to continue probing the rest of the roof, and then I'll go back and take care of all of them in one go. So then any spots you found, we go back in, we go ahead and clean up our mark. And then something that's important here is to clean underneath of it. So if it's small like this, you can take your probe and use your probe in order to get your rag underneath that in order to clean it. So once we probe the entire roof, we're gonna take any locations that we found, we're gonna clean them, let them dry, and then we're just gonna simply patch them back up. This is a very important step to take your time on, QCing these roofs so that we don't have any issues. So once we've probed the entirety of the TPO roof, the other thing to do is to check in between the field, in between the seams, to make sure that there's no damage or scratches or anything like that that can cause an issue. And then finally, where our TPO meets our shingle roof, we want to make sure that we're glued down solid right here, which I have just installed an adhesive along this, so I know we're good, but that's another key step to make sure that we're tight. So we have probed and checked all of the welds on the roof. Any problem spots we've marked off and addressed. Our T-joint patches are all tight and secure. We've double checked the membrane for any sort of damage. And then the tie-in we've made sure is nice and sealed all the way around. That's how we QC and probe a TPO roof.